Ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy Rico back at it again. Folks, welcome to another edition of the Rico Report brought to you by the Buffalo Fanatics. We are back ready to hit you over the head with some news updates. Man, it's good to be back. If you guys are wondering where the heck are you? None of your damn business. I ain't home. That's all you gotta, that's all you need to know at this point. And folks, relocation, man. It's a relocation for now. And the things I do for you folks, man. I hope you guys appreciate this. You know what I'm saying? I had to uproot all my equipment, if you will, to bring y'all the good stuff. And here we are, folks. So for those that are tuned in for the very first time, smash that like. You know what I'm saying? Show some love to the Buffalo Fanatics. Show some love to your boy. And let's get this popping. So I hope you guys are awake. Hope you guys have noticed the news that's popping all over the place. D-Hop is available. The Cardinals sin. You had an opportunity. Multiple opportunities. And just like that, you fumbled it. You had an opportunity to trade D-Hop to get something. Whether it was a seventh round, whether it was whichever, but I know obviously money was a factor. My man he was holding up like a $22 million cap or some $20 million cap. So it's a lot for a team to take on. So a lot of folks weren't ready to take on that big price tag. And I get it. And folks were like, nah, we good. We know you don't want it. We're going to call your bluff. You capping. You don't want him. You want nothing to do with D-Hop. You're going to release him. So we will wait. We'll just wait it out. And the Cardinals were like, they called our bluff. And here they are in this position. And now they're stuck. They're stuck in a it's weird because it's weird to be in a rebuild mode when you were competing in the NFC. You were, you know what I'm saying, one of the, better teams in the NFC. And now you're just a shell of what you used to be with a quarterback that's injured, with just a whole bunch of question marks on that team. And right now, they jump right back into a rebuild. That's weird, isn't it? Am I tripping? Anyway, it is what it is. Shout out to everybody tuned in right now. Smash that like while you guys are in here. Salute to y'all that have been tuning in and watching and supporting the Buffalo Fanatics for some time now. I'm not just talking about 2 months ago. I'm not talking about 3 months. I'm talking about years. Y'all put in some years supporting, and we appreciate that. And if you guys are tuned in and ready to let me know when and how long you've been tuning in. If you're new, smash that like. If you're here, if you've been tuning in for a while, represent. Let us know how long you've been following us, and let's get this thing popping. Folks, let's talk about this, man. There's some news circulating, and I'm not just going to talk about this news that's circulating. And I didn't want to talk about it at first because that's personal stuff, and what I mean, when people go through some personal stuff, so you kind of want to leave it alone. But now that it's all out there. It's out there. And we got to talk about it because it circles back to football. I promise you, it circles back to football. And I want to get your thoughts, especially the men and women that are in relationships, not in relationships, just got out of a relationship, just got into one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be Stephen A. Smith, get into the love guru stuff. If you guys remember, that was back in the day. That was good stuff. That was good TV. I might even get into that. I got that sultry voice. I can get into that a little bit. But we'll get into it just a little bit here, folks. But I can't get into this all by my lonesome. I can't. I got to bring my guy in here. It's been a while since he's been on. He's changed. He's like a new man. The voice has changed. His look has changed. He's a little more mature. We don't say mature anymore. We say mature. Let me bring on my guy, Mr. Evan Harrington. What's good, Evan Harrington?
It's good to be back. It's been a little bit, finished up semester 4 in college you know, I didn't know my return to BF would you know, be talking about a little bit of drama, but good drama, I guess, involving Mr. 17.
Mr. 17 indeed. Well, listen, for those that have been living under a rock, by the way, I got to give a shout out to my man, John Triple OG Yotis. John Yotis has been holding it down. 3 years, 5 months. Rico, you will be in preschool soon. Love it, love it, love it. John Yotis has been holding it down for a long time. Was good, everybody. But check this out, folks. Before we get into the D Hop talk, because we're gonna get a deep dive into the D Hop talk, but my guy Josh Allen is out there, you know what I'm saying, doing the damn thing. And he's got a new bay, allegedly. And it's gonna circle back to football because he tells us that he's focused and he's ready to go and he's about that life, football life. And now he's got a new bay. And I'm not too familiar with this new bay, but it's out there. It's out there, folks. My man's out there. He's parading around NYC. And is the folks, people are talking. People are talking. JA is out there. He's got the scruff, he's got the new hairdo, he's got the new bay. And I wasn't familiar with who this individual was until I was like, okay, she looks familiar. And then Evan was like, let me speak on that because I know a little more. So apparently, this young lady, Haley, I believe that it's Haley Seinfeld. So Marvel, talk to me. What you got?
Yeah. So obviously, right out of the gate, anytime a prominent Bills player, gets into a relationship and, has a girlfriend, the people of Buffalo are going to be curious. I mean, they're gonna wanna, look this, girl up and follow her and, get to know her. But Bills fans probably already know a little bit about, Haley Steinfeld because she's been in the Hollywood. She's in Hollywood. She's been there for years. A lot of people have watched a lot of stuff that she's been in. And you mentioned Marvel. She was Kate Bishop in the Marvel Hawkeye series. It was
There you
released a
go.
little bit ago. So she's obviously been in Marvel, which is a big box office company, and they've produced billions and billions of dollars worth of stuff. So a lot of people have had that sort of stuff in their homes, and people have probably already got a glimpse of Haley Steinfeld. Some people in the comments are mentioning that she's been in Pitch Perfect. She was in a trilogy of movies, Pitch Perfect. She's also made countless of number 1 hits. So obviously,
Listen,
it's myself. I mean, like
paparazzi.
by myself, being part of that quote unquote younger generation, like I'm gonna know who Haley Steinfeld is just because if I open up my Instagram or my Twitter, she's on there, whether that's with Josh Allen or not with Josh Allen. So now we're gonna get more of Haley Steinfeld potentially, and that's gonna be with number 17, J17 Josh Allen. I mean, you're mentioning new looks, Rico. With myself,
Yeah,
well, I
talk
got
about it.
that look, but
Let
so
me
does
see
Josh
your look.
Allen. So
You got the scruff, you got the mature look happening. I like every bit of it. Now let's circle this back to Josh Allen because Josh Allen lets us know that he's focused, ready to go. But listen, we've got news that's coming our way. We potentially could could get D Hop. We potentially could get D Hop. And the real question is, and that's how we circle back to it. Are you focused enough that if we bring this brother here to play some football, there's going to be immense pressure on the Buffalo Bills? I don't care what anybody tells me, more pressure is going to be on. Like right now, they're talking about how the Jets are going to be great. They're talking about how Miami Dolphins are going to be great. They're talking about the Bengals are nice like that. The Chiefs, obviously, reigning Super Bowl champs. There's some competition in the AFC. We both know that. And now when you bring in D Hop, obviously gives us a better chance to open that window even wider to get to that Super Bowl. But man, oh man, the pressure will be immense on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills if we are able to land D Hop. Let me ask you this, my man, Evan, because I've got my thoughts on D Hop, but do you like this fit now that we don't have to talk about $20 million that we can't afford? We don't have to talk about, oh well, we're gonna have to trade some assets. There's none of that. He is released. He is a free agent. He can go where he pleases. Now that makes a big difference on what your opinion was of D Hop maybe just a few weeks ago, maybe just a month ago. A lot of people were like, I'm out. I can talk about it. I was saying, I'm out. If we have to do X, Y, Z and get him, knowing his age and the things that come with him, I'm out. But now that he's a free agent, that changes the whole ballgame. Your thoughts on the fit, your thoughts on D Hop potentially making destination to Buff a destination for him. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, so starting from the fit aspect of things, when you talk about a player like DeAndre Hopkins as a free agent compared to a player that you have to trade for, when you have a five-time Pro Bowler and a five-time All-Pro as a free agent, you know, to me at least, the whole fit thing just kind of gets thrown right out of the window just because when you're, scourging the free agent market, it's not every day that you can just look on your free agent board and you see a guy with the resume and the accolades and the accomplishments that DeAndre Hopkins, holds. It's not every day you get a five-time All-Pro that you can add to your team, as a free agent. So when you look at it from that aspect, this is a move that the Bills should be able to jump on and should be able to, add a guy like Hopkins to their team. So now, when you talk about it from the trade standpoint, there had to be some, underlying discussions and some things behind the scenes that we didn't know because it seems like the Cardinals could just not trade Hopkins. I don't know what their asking, price was, and I don't know what other teams were asking, in favor to make that trade. So obviously, when it came, to the end of things, they had to release their, five-time All-Pro wide receiver, and Hopkins, as of right now, is, still a top 10 wide receiver in the game of football, and he's still a very dominant player at his respective position. Now, is he the DeAndre Hopkins from 3 or 4 years ago? No, that DeAndre Hopkins was a top three receiver in football and undisputably, arguably, the best receiver in the game. But now you got this guy, he's available, he's a free agent. In the fit aspect, when you really, I guess, break it down and talk about the fit aspect, it's another target that's gonna demand targets from Josh Allen.
That's right.
And you're gonna have two alphas on the outside. The only other team that comes to mind that has two alphas on the outside is the Cincinnati Bengals, Chase and Higgins.
Mm-hmm. And
Right?
did you
And
see,
in
did you see a problem with that? Did Joe Burrow have any issues with that?
No, and he also had the inside slot receiver in Tyler Boyd.
That's
If the
right.
Bills can find a way to add DeAndre Hopkins, you're just gonna make Josh Allen's life that much easier, right?
Mm,
You're gonna give Josh Allen a guy to where Josh Allen can still play Josh Allen ball and go give his receiver a chance, but you got a guy like D Hop, where D Hop's gonna make D Hop plays because D Hop's been making those plays for years. I mean, look at all the quarterbacks he's bailed out in his younger years with the Texans, bailing out guys like Ryan Fitzpatrick,
that's right.
over there, Brock Osweiler. I mean, the Texans, had a lot of bad quarterbacks, and Josh Allen can have bad
TJ Yeldon.
quarterback plays. Josh Allen can make bad quarterback plays, but throwing it to Hopkins will bail him out, and that's kind of the fit thing for there. I mean, Hopkins is a guy that's going to demand 130 targets, at least 100 and 20, 115. He's a guy that could demand 130 targets. He's going to be right there with Stephon Diggs as a guy that can go off at any point in time in an NFL game. And when you add him here, you make guys like Gabe Davis's life easier,
Yep.
Dawson Knox easier, Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, obviously, Deontay Hardy, Trent Sherfield, Justin Shorter. And like if you add Hopkins to this team, you're not only adding another big time weapon, you're just bolstering the depth of this team. And I think the Bills have had this sort of plan all sort of long that Hopkins would become available, whether that was via trade or via, free agency. And that's why in my mind they didn't go get that big time receiver because they would also know that if we rolled into the season with the receiving core we have now, they're fine with it.
Yep.
But they also didn't make that move because they also had the assumption that Hopkins could be available and they would add Hopkins to this team and just have a big three of Hopkins, Diggs, and Davis.
There you go. And that's a very, very possible entity that could happen right now. And I'm actually excited about this. And I have my takes on it. But before I even get into my takes, I mean, there's been a whole bunch of clips coming from D Hop, right? is D like there was a point where D Hop was asked, like, without saying anything, your body language, what are your thoughts, right? If I mention this team, give me your body language, right? He's on the I Am Athlete pod. Name the quarterbacks that you would like to play with, right? There's a whole bunch of little clips of him out there. And I have a feeling he knew that, man, this marriage ain't gonna work. They're gonna release me. So I'll play the game until it's time for them to release me. So I try to kind of, I dug around a little bit and I found a couple clips and just to kind of remind folks of what transpired with our guy D Hop and what he's been saying. So let's start with this clip right here. Give me a second here.
Control that.
Of course not.
So I want to play another game with you, right?
All right.
I don't want you to verbally answer this question. Okay. I'm going to name some destinations. I want your body language or your facial expression to determine, like, ooh, would I like that spot if the Cardinals want to trade you? First destination, we're going to go with the New England Patriots. All right. Second destination, we're going to go with the Buffalo Bills. Third destination, we're going to go with the New York Jets. Last destination, we're going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, you know, some of the best answers are the answers where you don't hear anything.
You know what I mean? So, really, he wants to be part of a team that is one piece away, right? Let him be that piece. And right now, we already know offensively, we add a D-Hop, we're that much better. Obviously, Kansas City adds a D-Hop. They're potent. They'd be very dangerous with Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce. But we got some bangers on our team too, right? But when D-Hop gives you that impression, the minute that Buffalo rang and Buffalo and his name have been together, it hasn't really gone apart. It's not really been any other team. Obviously, they've mentioned the Eagles. They've mentioned some of the Ravens are part of this whole situation. But the Bills seem to be the team that people are talking about, that marriage working. So he doubles down. He talks about other things relating to quarterbacks around the league and so on and so forth. But so check this clip. He was on the I Am Athlete podcast, and he had this to say.
What I want is stable management upstairs. I think that's something that I haven't really had, past couple years in my career, coming from Houston to being in Arizona. So I've been through 3 to 4 GMs in my career. So a stable management, a QB who loves the game, a QB who, brings everybody on board with him and pushes not just himself, but, people around him. I don't need a great QB. I've done it with subpar QBs, just a QB who loves the game like I do. And a great defense. I think defense wins championships. For me, I think that's the key. You got to have a great defense. You got to have a great D-line. And, obviously, just like you said, you meet with people. I have a council of friends who are not just my friends, but, they're my business managers as well. So, we go in depth about these things, and that's why I love this process. I love this game. It teaches you a lot. And, for me, that's it. Great management, QB who loves the game, and a great defense.
QB who loves the game, great defense, great management. Shit. I don't know what else you're looking for, baby. Great management. Brandon Beans manages his team extremely well. He took this team from, Cap was looking like garbage. He said, you know what? Let me flip a couple things. Let me add Kevin Benjamin and let me move that fool. Let me get rid of that dude. And he made some moves enough to be contenders that we are today. So this management is in pristine shape. Now, when you look at a quarterback that loves to win, golly, I don't know who out there wants to win more than Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a dog when he's out there. So he wants to win. Now, that man nearly broke his damn shoulder. He says, nah, man, let me ice that bit. Let me ice that bit out and let me get back out there. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me you don't love the game. You know what I'm saying? So you have a quarterback that loves the game. You got management that's pristine, and you got a top 5 defense. What you waiting for, baby? You know where to come. Now, there's competition now. You got a great defensive line over in New York, the New York Jets. You got a Hall of Fame to-be quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, and management the last couple of years have done some pretty good things. So but I don't think the Jets are involved in this. They could be a dark horse, but I could be wrong. Well, you got something. You have something to add there. What you got?
Well, yeah. So Hopkins also mentioned, the 5 quarterbacks that he would like to play with.
Mm-hmm.
That was Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Herbert. Now,
Right.
when you break down the quarterback for each team, Enrico, you made some of the points of Hopkins wanting to play on a team that has, the quarterback, that
Yep.
has the top defense, that has the steady management.
Yep.
Out of all 5 of those quarterbacks that lead their respective teams, the 2 teams that come to mind are, one, the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, they got the all-pro quarterback in Josh Allen. They have the top-end defense that has been top-end for the last 2 seasons.
That's right.
They have the steady management. But the other team that kind of intrigues me on this point, and they would be the team, in my point of view, that gives the Bills the strongest, competition when, talking about acquiring a player like DeAndre Hopkins. It's the Baltimore Ravens.
Absolutely.
Because
And
Hopkins talks about playing with Lamar Jackson.
yep.
Lamar Jackson just got paid. He's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
They got the steady management. They have a very, very good defense. That Baltimore defense has been good for years. So when you talk about those 2 teams, and those are the 2 teams, in my point of view, that Diop has the best chances to land with. And the reason I don't think Kansas City is in this spot, it is because I don't think DeAndre Hopkins wants to be the only number 1 anymore. I don't think he wants all the pressure on him week in and week out. And if he went over to Buffalo, he wouldn't have to be that. Now, some games he could be that number 1, but he wouldn't have to stress being that number 1, because obviously we have Stephon Diggs and others to back him up.
Yep.
Baltimore just brought in OBJ.
Yep.
Now, is OBJ that number 1 receiver that he was in New York? No, he's not, but OBJ is still a well-respected wide receiver in the National Football League. He still demands attention. They drafted, Zay Flowers in the first round. They have Mark Andrews. They have Rashad Bateman. They got some guys.
They got a plethora of weapons out there.
But, like, if you go over to Kansas City, like, realistically, outside of Kelsey, pass-catching wise, Hopkins is like the guy. I mean, they still got some guys in the depths that can make plays, but Hopkins would be the featured receiver week in and week out. And I think, again, just, circling back to the point, the Bills and the Ravens would be the 2 teams that, when it's said and done, would come down to Hopkins, making the move to sign.
Well, and here's the thing, Evan. See, all these players talk a lot of shit. They do. Right? I have tremendous respect for Lamar. I love Lamar. Rah. And I love Lamar. Lamar's my guy, right? If it wasn't Josh Allen, I was rooting for Lamar to come to the Bills. Obviously, I had Josh Rosen, for crying out loud. I don't know how I was able to get duped into thinking Josh Rosen was going to be something, but he wasn't. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is this. Talk a lot of game because you were under contract with another team. So you got to say those things. I love Lamar. I love this. I love that. But when it really comes down to it, you're going to choose Lamar over Josh Allen? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and you make a great point, because that was the point I wanted to touch on. He may not want to be that number 1 guy. Like, I'm sick and tired of being double teamed all day. You know what I'm saying? I like a little pressure off of me. I like a little bit of leeway. I want a little bit of room. I want to be able to, you know what I'm saying, have fun and win, because a lot of times can you really say he's been having fun? You went with the Texans, you had some success with the Texans, and then not so much. You had Fitzy throwing you the ball, TJ Yates throwing you the ball. You had a whole bunch of journeyman throwing you the football. Never really a start until Deshaun Watson was there, but then now you the sicko Deshaun Watson was, up to no good. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, you gotta make your point. You want to go somewhere where you can be a complementary piece. I'm not a B player, I'm not a C player, I'm an A player, but you know what? Let me pair me with someone that could really do damage right now. And Stephon Diggs is that dude. So you pair a D-Hop with Stephon Diggs, that's problematic. And you got Gabe Davis waiting in the wings. Man, and you got Khalil Shakir. We got some damage that can be done. Now, hear me out on this one too, right? Nobody's really talking about this, and I got to bring this up. I have to bring it up. Stephon Diggs is a good. I like Stephon Diggs. I love Stephon Diggs. I think Stephon Diggs is the biggest dog out there. Like you can't love a player like this more than, you know what I'm saying? Like this guy, he's the epitome of dog on your team. This guy right here, number 14. Ever since he's come to the Bills, the team has been elevated. I don't hear anybody talking about how Stephon would react to another bona fide star coming onto the team. Now, is he threatened by it? Highly doubtful. When you're a dog, you're not threatened by it. But at the same time, you can't just consult just your quarterback. You got to talk to your boy, your number one receiver. How is it going to be on his mental? Now, you're a professional player. You should be able to deal with this stuff. Hold on a second. Don't y'all F with me? Don't you know that I'm that guy? So now you're gonna bring on D-Hop? Are you not happy with me? But nobody's really talking about it until it happens. Now, if it starts to fester and it becomes an issue, boy, do we have problems. Now, I don't want that to happen. I think management is so damn good. I think that they don't make this move until they consult, I would say, your top players, your key players. And I'd love to think that Stephon Diggs would invite this. Haven't heard a peep from him. Unless somebody has footage out there that says, yo, I would love D-Hop to come on this card. Let's go. Haven't seen that. I see it from the defensive players. I see Deion Dawkins talking about, I got a locker right next to me, bro. Come through. But I have not heard Stephon Diggs say green light, come on through. So I think that's something that is valid enough to bring up. Is he about that? We shall see. I got my man P Money with a comment comes in and say, hey, man, D-Hop comes in with zero ego. Diggs knows Hopkins is that dude as well. Respect on both sides. Well, until I hear it from the other alpha, you know what I'm saying? We have to wait about that. But I got super chats coming in. I got to read these super chats. I got my girl, Linda West. What's happening, Linda? Linda comes in and says, hey, man, thanks for the great discussion, Rico and Evan and the chat. Go Bills. It's our year, Mafia. Listen, Linda's always been supportive. Linda, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. I know you don't like this whole Josh Allen potentially dating. We don't even know. It's just a picture. For all we know, they're just friends going to dinner, you know what I'm saying, in NYC. You know what I'm saying? Did we see the old slippage hand on the back? Because that's usually the move when you know, okay, something's going on. You know what I'm saying? If it's the air, let me let you walk into the rooms, cool. But if the hand goes on the lower back, Evan, you know what that means, right?
I could say I know a little bit about what that means.
It means it could mean nothing. It could be something. But nonetheless, all we know is they're just friends.
I want to take a look at these photos again while you're reading the chat.
I'll bring up the photos in just a second. But I got to get to this other super chat. I got my man William on YouTube. What's up, Will? Will says, yo, Shakir got to give up number 10. Sorry, Shakir, but it's D-Hop, bro. Josh Allen, Diggs, Gabe, Knox, Hardy, Harris, Cook, our defense returning. It's a no-brainer. Now, hold on. You guys might think I'm a hater. I have to save this for the next show. But I got some things to say. Most folks might think I'm too much of a skeptic. You're a hater, but y'all know me by now. I don't follow the trend. I don't follow everybody saying, yoo-hoo, kumbaya, the Bills are going to win 15 games. I'm not like that. You guys already know. I have some things I'm going to share on Tuesday, and it's going to be, let's just wait till Tuesday. That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say is I got questions. I got questions, and they need to be answered. Now, moving on. I don't want to move on too much because you wanted to touch on something. You wanted to see the pictures of to see if it's worth noting that is it a friendly, like, let's take a look here. So hands not even near her. He's what, like 2 or 3 feet behind her. This is just two friends going to dinner, or two friends. Oh, wait a minute now. I see that middle picture on the bottom of the circle. That it's not on the lower back. It's on the right tricep. Evan, you're a relationship guru, and you know how to do body language. Tell me what that means. You got the spotlight.
So can you pop that photo back up there, and I'll kind of talk behind it here.
Talk to us about it. Break it down for us.
So what I can kind of see here is Josh's right hand isn't exactly touching the back of Haley. It's close, but it's more of like something that's guiding, because I don't know if you see that guy in the middle. It's kind of like he's like walking towards her. So Josh is kind of like, hey, watch out. There's a guy walking towards you. Just kind of excuse out of the way. You know, kind of doing a gentleman thing. More of like, just having his hand around her back. I think it's more of like, hey, watch out. Don't bump into this guy. But
I like it. That's
That's,
it's a clean breakdown. It's a
I
clean
mean,
breakdown.
that's. I mean, yeah, that person that's walking towards Josh and Haley, maybe it's walking towards
You know,
Haley, and
you're grasping. You're grasping. You're grasping. Don't grasp. Just let it be natural.
and he's being a gentleman. He's like, Haley, watch out. You're gonna walk over this way, and
I got you. I got you.
I mean, that's what I see. But at the same time, maybe Josh is just making a move, and he's just gotta kind of being the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills.
My man PVC said, "Yo, that's his play cousin." Yo, you a fool with that, man. That's his play cousin. Anyway, let me move on to talk a little bit more at D-Hop. So D-Hop potentially come to the Bills. Now, we got to figure out how we going to pay this man. How do we pay D-Hop? Because he's no scrub. You can't give him vet minimum. You got to give him something that's worthwhile. He's a free agent. He's going to be coveted by many folks. You can't just sit there and assume that he's just gonna come to you guys and just sign a contract and be like, yeah, I'll just come for the vet. No. I want to win. And if we gotta build something, sign me long term. Let's do something. If it's just a 2-year deal, you want to fluff the end, cool. And then by next year you want to restructure me or extend me, let's do something, right? But money is a factor. Now I got to give a shout out to, and I'm not a contract guru. I'll never pretend to be. I leave that to those that are good at it. And we got Mr. Greg Thompson. He's I think he's an accountant by trade. So the brother knows numbers. And it turns out if we want to make a move and we want to make a play on DeAndre Hopkins to come to the Bills, there's a few players on this team that's got, to make a decision. We got to restructure some players. The question is, which players to restructure? Which players are worth it to restructure? You don't want to kick the can down the road on a player that you don't truly necessarily believe in. You want to kick the can down the road on someone that you feel is going to be part of this team for years to come. So there are 2 players potentially on this team that pose that fall into that position. And according to Mr. Greg Thompson, he says Brandon B's got some options. And it's all about restructure. But the question is, who do you restructure? And according to Greg, you got to restructure Deion Dawkins. And by restructuring Deion Dawkins, you can actually free up some cash here. $6.93 million from Deion. And if you restructure some more, you can restructure Trey White. Tre'Davious White is coming off of a rebuilding year. He's rebuilding his knee from the awful tear that he had a couple years back, and he's got a full offseason that he can take care of his knee and get back to top shape. And according to Sal Capaccio, he's looking good in OTAs. Now, OTAs, ain't no really going on. You got to wait till training camp starts, the contact and really things start to ramp up. So there's still more to be desired out of what's going to come from Tre'Davious White. I don't think he returns to top shape. I hope I'm extremely wrong. And if I am, I love it. I love that I'm wrong, because that means we get back the Trey White that we know is all pro. So Deion Dawkins, $6.93 million. You restructure Trey White, you get $5.88 million. So the Bills can actually structure a 1-year, $15 million contract for DeAndre Hopkins that has a 3.8 cap hit. Now, there's so much numbers to be thrown out. And to simplify for those that are like myself, like, listen, man, all these numbers are great, but give me something that is comparable to. Well, you know who complicates things? The receiver that just signed with the Ravens, OBJ. OBJ signed a $15 million deal? Upwards to 18.
Yeah, 15.
Yep. 15 and incentives can get him up to 18 mil. So if D-Hop is coming to any team, he's just going to look at D-Hop and all right, he's going to look at, OBJ and say, well, I ain't taking anything less than 15. You got a guy that busted two ACLs. And he's just coming back. Hasn't played in some time now. No. You're giving me the minimum, which is $15 million. And that is what the Bills have to play with in order to make it happen. The question is, do they love him enough to do that? Now, Evan, I'm going to flip this to you. Does Brandon Beane love D-Hop enough to start making these restructures, to start making these moves, to start, moving things around, kicking cans down the road to bring in D-Hop to get us one player closer, obviously hoisting that Lombardi. So you got to talk to me. What are your thoughts when it comes to moving some cash around and getting D-Hop to come to the squad? Is it detrimental to the future of this team, or is this the right move right now because this is the window?
Yeah, so kicking things off with what you said, is it detrimental to the team going forward, for future years? I don't think it is, because Brandon Bean, he always illustrates the way he wants to build this franchise is for now, and for the later. Any move he makes is going to have implications for the present and the future. And they're always going to be good intentions from, the management side of things when building this roster.
Right.
Now, when you look at bringing in a player like DeAndre Hopkins, it is going to, cost a little bit of cash. We're not looking at a receiver that's going to be potentially playing some special teams and also getting some snaps. We're looking at a guy that's going to be on the field, almost as much as Stephon Diggs is. So
Yep.
you're going to have to pay the guy a little bit. And you mentioned the OBJ contract, and OBJ is getting $15 million a year on the average for a 1-year contract. The one thing I can see the Buffalo Bills doing here is signing DeAndre Hopkins to a 2-year contract, but kind of, loading some of the money more upfront, giving Hopkins that sort of guarantee he's looking for that 1 year. But then if he also wants to continue and try to win here, that second year will be a little more, balanced for the Bills side of things financially, but also good enough where he's going to still get, a nice little payday. And that 3-year, $33 million contract that I couldn't see you said that there, but that was put up there.
Yep.
That's kind of the deal I'm seeing. It could be like a 2-year, $36 million contract. 1 year's $23 million a year, and the next is 13. But you're going to want to give Hopkins a little bit of money. So obviously, there's one of two reasons why he's coming here. First is to win, but also at the end of the day, he knows his value. He's still going to want to collect a little bit of a paycheck while he's still in the league and
Of course,
still
as
able
you
to
should.
get those sort of paychecks, as you should. Build that wealth up. And so that's where both sides are going to have to, have that sort of respect for each other. Hopkins has to have the respect for Brandon Bean and the management side of things, knowing, the Bills don't really have the amount of cap space that they would like to have to bring in a player like Hopkins. But at the same time, Brandon Bean's going to have to also realize, hey, we might have to, restructure 1 or 2 deals here. Also, still compensate our players that we're going to restructure, make sure they get their money, make sure they're, fine and happy on that side of things. But also, get that money over to Hopkins because you're bringing in here, another top end receiver.
Well, listen, I got a question from my man P Money, and Pierre comes in and he says, "Yo, cut to the chase. We want to know what kind of numbers D-Hop's going to have in this offense." Well, here's the question. Will Hopkins be the missing piece? What numbers does Allen put up with now having a bona fide star in Stephon Diggs, having a bona fide star in D-Hop? Does not get 1,000 yards? Are you looking, if D-Hop does come over, is it a big statistical year for D-Hop, or is it a modest year? Does everybody have just decent numbers? Because we're going to have to spread the wealth. There's only one freaking football. You can't have 1,000 yards here and 1,000. We ain't Oprah. Oprah ain't on this team. Oprah's not the GM and saying 1,000 yards for you, 1,000 yards for you, and you get 1,000 yards too. Oh, by the way, James Cook, you're going to run for 1,500 yards. Ain't nobody getting all that. Somebody is going to stop a little bit. Question is, who's going to stop?
Yeah, so
Stephon Diggs has been there on the squad holding it down the last 3 years. Do you show more love to the newbie to the team, but he ain't new to the league? Everybody knows who Nuck is. So, this is what's going to be tricky when it comes to bringing another star onto the squad. Can you make it happen? Now, most people want to say, well, hold on a second. Evan, you brought it up. Chase Higgins. You got me saying Chase Higgins. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, right? You got those two guys, but hear me out. You had 2 young players come in. T. Higgins drafted to the team. Jamar Chase drafted to the team. They kind of came up together. So you can't really use those two as an example because they came up together. Now you're going to have a guy that's created his own legacy elsewhere. He's coming in with his legacy to a team, and you already have a guy that's created his legacy on this team right now. So I'm not saying it's going to be a clash, but boy, oh boy, I got demands. I want the football. So the question is, can we, spread the love and spread the wealth like that? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so like the comment that you put up from Pierre is talking about like, is this the missing piece? So it's like,
Right.
well, like what does the missing piece mean? Is it the missing piece of getting us to a Super Bowl? I don't exactly know if Hopkins, if he is on this roster or not, is quote unquote the missing piece of us winning a Super Bowl, because I do think this current team could win a Super Bowl. I think we are good enough without DeAndre Hopkins, with or without, to uh, you know, rise and raise that Lombardi trophy. Um, but the thing is, with DeAndre Hopkins, bringing him here, you're just adding more consistency, right? The Buffalo Bills finished number 2 in the league in offense last year.
Yes, they
Wouldn't
did.
you say number 2? That's pretty good. You can't really do much better than number 2. Yes, it would be nice to finish with the number 1 offense in the league, but with the number 2 offense in football, you're doing a lot better than
Pretty good.
most teams, right? And
I
adding
agree.
DeAndre Hopkins won't necessarily make you the number 1 offense in football, just because we're going to put up so many points, so much yards and so many statistics with or without Hopkins, just because of the guy we got playing, under center.
Right.
But what Hopkins does for this team is, not only does it add another element to the offense, it diversifies your offense a little bit more, adds another skill set that you didn't have, and it also makes your quarterback's life a lot easier. And there's points and times throughout this past season with Josh Allen where he was having those inconsistencies, whether that was in the regular season or a little bit in the postseason. Josh, was a little rattled. Getting a guy like Hopkins kind of unrattles Josh a little bit, and you get that little bit more of consistency on offense. Remember, there was a point last season where this offense was kind of, stalled up for a little bit.
Talk
And we
about
were kind of
it.
we were kind of looking at it.
Talk about it.
What's going on? And then this is kind of just circles back to the point I'm talking about, the missing piece. It's like, is it the final piece to the puzzle of it, just kind of like a video game here? You unlock it and it just kind of glows and it's more consistent. You finally get past that checkpoint. Do the Bills adding Hopkins finally get past it? Consistent inconsistency of having those rough stretches. No, the Bills are going to always have a rough stretch here and there. Every team has a rough stretch
Yeah, that's right.
on offense throughout the season. But adding Hopkins just allows you to be more consistent in that fact. I don't think if Hopkins comes here and he doesn't have 1,000 yards, I don't think that's a failed season. Because you got to also realize the amount of players we have on this roster. The ball's going to be spread out. Cook's going to get his touches out of the backfield. Knox is going to get his touches. They drafted a first-round tight end. He's going to get his touches. If you want to see the development of Shakir, he's going to get his touches. Gabe Davis, he's in a contract year. He's going to get his touches. He's going to make the most of it when he's out on the field.
Well,
Diggs is going to demand 150 targets. Like, Hopkins isn't going to come here and put up 1,000 yards. Hopkins hasn't put up 1,000 yards in 2 seasons. He's put up 1,200 in the last 2 seasons.
he hasn't had
with
a
injuries.
like Josh.
Well, I know, but he was doing that as the number 1.
Right.
Hopkins coming here isn't going to be the number 1. Will he have number 1 weeks? Yes, he will. But he ain't going to be that guy that he was in Houston, that he was, in Arizona, demanding the targets and the attention that, he got. But he's still going to be a big time dominant player. And I think it's, it's as close to getting a missing piece as you can find in the NFL.
I like
mean,
it.
It is right there. When you're looking at a player like Hopkins, like it's right there for, adding a missing piece.
Well, PVC fam says, why can't Diggs and D-Hop be like Eric Moulds and Peerless Price? You know what I'm saying? 100 catches, 1,000 yards each. Let's roll. You know what? It's absolutely possible. But let's not forget. I don't know if Evan is sold on Ken Dorsey. I'm all about getting him a second opportunity. And most people are like, well, hold on a second. Second opportunity? What you talking about? The man led a number 2 offense in the damn league. What are you talking about, Rico? What are you saying, bro? Well, what I'm saying is we had our struggles. Teams were trying to figure us out late in the season. And if you look at the last football game we played, we scored how many points, Evan? You can put 2 hands up. Put 2 hands up.
5 plus 5.
There it is. 10. Okay? 10 is what they say in Espanol, right? 10 freaking points. Not acceptable in a playoff game. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to say, hey, man, we went through a lot of things. I get that part. I ain't buying it. You know what I'm saying? A football player is a football player. You ball. You get the call, all that good stuff, right? But we didn't ball. We look like a bunch of bums out there. That's neither here nor the point. The point I'm trying to make is this. He had his struggles. Ken Dorsey had his struggles. So now you add a piece like D-Hop, you hope that this opens up this offense crazy. And Kincaid being added to this team now gives you an element in the middle of the field. Now, defensively, boy, you got to poison the pick. And you better pick the right one. And really, the answer is you don't want to pick a poison because it's going to hurt you one way or another. What you got?
I will say this though. I'm gonna make this bold prediction now before anyone else goes out there and does this. All right.
It better be good.
I'm gonna make this bold prediction, but this is only if DeAndre Hopkins comes to the Buffalo Bills. If Hopkins comes to the Buffalo Bills, Stephon Diggs will have his 1,000 yards like he does every single season.
Okay.
But the Buffalo Bills will have 6+ pass catchers, including Stephon Diggs, over 500 yards. It's gonna be Diggs, Hopkins, Davis, Dalton Kincaid,
and
Dawson Knox. Oh, that's 5. Oh, sorry.
Wow.
But
So you think
5 pass catchers over 500 yards.
So we just gonna throw the football on. We just not gonna respect the run game. We're not gonna run the ball. We just gonna throw the fucking. You got me. You gonna make me cuss. I don't want to cuss today, Kevin. I don't want to cuss. You just gonna throw the football all day? Is that what you want? Is that sustainable?
It's what the Buffalo Bills have, built their identity on the last few seasons. I mean, they're a team that's going to drop back and throw. I mean, they do need to implement the run game more than they have in the past. They need to respect the run game on their side of the ball. They need to be able to respect their own run game and establish it, right? They do. They do need to do that for a few reasons why. First, for investing the amount that they have in the running back room through the draft, the investment that they've made this offseason in the interior offensive line, bring in Connor McGovern, Osiris Torrance, bring in David Edwards, who's a 3-year starter with the LA Rams. I mean, you brought in, you still have Ryan Bates, you got Butker. You got players that can play on this offensive line. You got guys in the interior. Obviously, you still have Mitch Morse on the outside, Dawkins. You got Spencer Brown. So the line is beefed up. You got to respect that run game. And also, take a little bit of stress. Nobody
respects our run game. That's the problem. Do you respect James Cook?
I do respect James Cook as a football player. No, I respect him as a football player. I don't know if I completely respect him as a running back. Yeah, I respect him as a football player.
What the hell does that mean? Do you respect the freaking run game or not? I respect him as a football player. I respect all the guys.
I respect the things. I respect the things.
Spencer Brown as a football player.
I respect the fact. The thing with James Cook. I respect what he can do on the football field.
Okay, there we go.
You get what I'm saying? As a football player, as an overall football player, as a pass catcher, even he's not the biggest back, but he's got the ability to chip in, the pass blocking game if needed to do so. And we've seen him run the football a little bit. We've seen him have good yards per carry. I mean, the Bills have to commit, to the run game.
He had less than 100 carries, so it is going to look good. But I don't.
But at the same time, though, we've seen running backs come into the league and bail right out of the league because they couldn't jump on their opportunity.
And this is why this is going to be a big year for this offense, and you might be onto something. Maybe the addition of D-Hop opens things up. But I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't nobody scared.
I think the Bills' offense is still sort of that. I don't want to call it a one-dimensional look because I do think they're going to open up the run game a little bit more.
Yeah,
they're gonna add it. But it's still going to be one-dimensional from the fact of the Bills are still going to be the passing team that they are. But you're going to see them run the football a lot more, whether that's in the red zone or whether that's in between the 20s. They're going to be running the football a lot more.
So we're going to move to the next segment, and I need everybody involved in the chat. By the way, for those that are tuned in for the very first time, this is the Rico Report, and this is the Buffalo Fanatics. Y'all already know what it is, man. Show some love, smash that like. We got 344 people watching from YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff on all our social media platforms. If you guys aren't familiar, Buffalo Fanatics on all platforms, TikTok and all of that, we got it all. We ain't missing a beat. Hit us up, Instagram, over 100K followers. Let's go. Hit that, subscribe that, all that. Now, I got my man Evan. Evan, I gotta show my love. I gotta show love to my guy Evan. Evan's been holding it down for us in a long time. He's been away, growing a beard, getting all mature on me. And Evan, you bagging these females out there or not? You still you holding it down and focusing on school.
I'm focusing on school. I mean, I am solo. I'm still riding my Millennium Falcon like I'm solo. So still got that going on.
Well, listen, with that beard, you ain't gonna be solo for very long because that chat is gonna be buzzing, saying, "Yo, who is that guy? Who is that dude?" But we gonna set you up a little later. But check this out though. We got to transition into, because there's a chance that we talking all this D-Hop talk going to Buffalo. He may not even go to Buffalo. He might choose another destination. So the real question becomes, if not the Bills, where is a good fit for D-Hop? So it turns out the Eagles are a team that potentially is linked to D-Hop. Now, let's talk about the Eagles getting D-Hop, because the Eagles are nice. The Eagles are not a team to play with. They bolstered their defensive front. They already got Jordan Davis. They got Nakobe Dean at the linebacker spot. They brought in 2 Georgia dogs on that squad. I think it was a Nolan from Georgia, and who's the other cat they brought in? There's one more. Give it to me.
Oh, why am I forgetting his name? He's supposed to be the #1 draft pick. I'm forgetting his name.
It's not coming to me, but they got dogs in that squad.
Tackle.
Yeah, he's a DT. They got dogs on it. And in the chat, if you guys remember who we're talking about. So let us know who that guy was.
Jalen Carter.
Thank you very much. Carter. All right. So they got some dogs in that squad, and that's just defense. They brought back their cornerback. Slay is back. They lost Johnson, Gardner Johnson. But that team defensively is great. When you go on the offensive side of the ball, golly, DeAndre Swift comes through. They got Scott out there. Who do they got? They got who else is they? They got Gain
running backs. Kenneth Gainwell.
Kenneth Gainwell.
Brought in DeAndre Swift.
Brown. You got freaking you got Smith, Devontae Smith. Like, that team is already
Watkins, Dallas Goedert. I mean, they got weapons, man.
Dallas Goedert at tight end. They are stacked. And now you have D-Hop potentially going over there. Bro, I do not want to be the Giants. I don't want to be the Dallas Cowboys. F the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? And Washington Commanders. Or I don't even think they can even use the name the Commanders, because some genius put a freaking they put a cap on that. They can't even they put a what do you call it? A patent on the name Commander.
Yeah, patent.
So now they can't even use the Commanders. Ooh, whoever did that is a genius, because now the Commanders will be like, yo, how much we got to pay you to take the name? He's gonna be like,
You know what I do feel bad for about that though? Like, just I don't want to go too off topic with this, but just all the Washington fans that have just been buying merchandise every single year. They've changed the name. Obviously, they had their original attire, then they changed the name to the football team, and I don't know how many casual fans, bought the Washington football attire, but obviously all the diehards are going to buy it. I mean, this is the diehards.
Yeah,
so they changed the Commanders, and I'm sure everybody went right, to Fanatics and Nike.com, NFL Shop, whatever, to get their stuff. And they might change it again. I feel bad for Washington fans' pockets.
You know what's not going to change though? The good-looking guy that's on the right of me, to my right, or to everybody else's left. Hold up, my man Juan Castillo says, "Yo, hold up, I just got here, but who's the stud on the right? That ain't Evan. I know that ain't who it is. Oh, that's Evan, boy. Evan's all grown up.
I just birthday was the other day, so I'm growing up.
How old are you now, Evan? How old are you now, man?
I am officially 20.
Oh, big. Yo, listen, man. Congratulations. You've reached adulthood. You know what I'm saying? No
longer a teenager.
Not a little teenager no more. You know what I'm saying? So I like it. You gotta listen, when you're coming of age now. You're coming of age, and it's a good look, man. It's a good look. So the Eagles, let's get it on the Eagles, man. So the Eagles with D-Hop, they become a problem, and they're instant. I mean, they're already Super Bowl contenders. I mean, they were just there in the dance. You're gonna have a Jalen Hurts that's gonna be polished, seasoned, ready to get back to it. And the Eagles they're just dangerous, man. And they got better. So D-Hop going to the Eagles. Now, we could talk about it, but like, does he want to go to the Eagles? Do the Eagles make sense? Are they? I mean, obviously the contenders, they're going to be going there, but is he going to get the opportunity he thinks he's going to get? You got Devontae Smith, you got AJ Brown. Do you want to be the third wheel? I'm not saying he's going to be the third wheel to these guys, but it becomes a big 3 at the receiver spot with Goddard. I mean, you can't. How do you say no to that? The question is, are they going to give him the money, and do they want him? Do they want him to be on the squad? 31-year-old that's had some issues with his knees and so on and so forth. Do they want him? So that's one way to look at it with the Eagles. Does he fit with the Eagles? Do you think he fits with the Eagles? Are you big on that? Give me 30 seconds on what you think about it, and then we're going to move on to the next one.
Yeah, so just the one thing I would be concerned by if I was the management of the Philadelphia Eagles by bringing in DeAndre Hopkins, it's what type of deal do you sign him to? Because you have AJ Brown, you kind of gave him his big lucrative deal.
Oh yeah, you gave him.
But who's up next? Who's up next? Devontae Smith.
That's right.
And you could technically get away with getting his 5th-year option and working the next 3 years down the line with that, but you're going to want to extend Devontae Smith, right away. You're going to have to pay some other guys too. I mean, look at all the draft picks the Philadelphia Eagles have, especially on the defensive side of the ball, especially in their front 7. The Eagles' front 7 is a big reason why they're at where they're at. And you don't want to mess up that rotation one bit because you want to bring in another pass catcher. That offense is just fine. Now, adding Hopkins would only make it better, but contract-wise for the future, you don't want to mess up not paying one of your young studs on the front 7 because you're going to bring in a 31-year-old wide receiver just to bolster up that sort of thing.
I think it would be a big move for the Eagles to try to get D-Hop, but you're right. There's a lot of money that's got to go. They got to allocate a lot of money to certain players, and D-Hop may not be in the plans. But you know who does have a little love for our guy D-Hop? That's the freaking Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Baltimore Ravens, that is an intriguing destination for D-Hop. D-Hop already has a tremendous amount of respect for quarterback Lamar Jackson. We know that. It's been documented, and they're buddies. And it's been years. People have been talking about, dude, give Lamar Jackson his weapons. Stop giving him these bums like Sammy Watkins that's just washed and no good. Stop giving him freaking drop C's, Mr. Hollywood Brown. Stop giving him those guys, man. You can't just give him Andrews and that's it. Now you got him with Andrews. You got him with Isaiah Likely. Now you pair him with Duvernay. I like Duvernay. Duvernay is a nice little player. You got Bateman. Now you got OBJ. Now D-Hop comes into this fold. That becomes a pretty dangerous offense. Now, some folks might say, you know what? I don't give a damn because guess what? Lamar Jackson can't throw for shit. Now, I hate that statement because I think that's bullshit, but some people do really feel that way. He doesn't sling the rock like Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, and Joe Burrow, and et cetera, et cetera. So the destination to the Ravens looks mighty good. But does D-Hop really, really see himself with the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, when bringing up the Baltimore Ravens, circling back to a little bit earlier in the show, that was the team outside of the Buffalo Bills that I think has a legit shot of bringing in D-Hop. And when you talk about their receiver room, it's a very intriguing receiver room because last season for Lamar Jackson, when he was under center at the helm, his top 2 receivers were Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay. Now, I don't care what quarterback you are in the NFL, you don't want those two being your number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
They both can develop and become better, but number 1 and number 2 in today's NFL, I don't really like that as your number 1 and number 2. But do you know who I do like as your number 1 and number 2? Potentially Zay Flowers, their first-round draft pick, and Odell Beckham Jr., their big-time free agent acquisition. And if you bring in DeAndre Hopkins, Devin Duvernay, a guy that you could have talked about as your number 1 guy last year, becomes your number 5.
I hear you.
And he also becomes your number 6, or also potentially your number 7 pass catcher in that offense because who do we still got? We didn't mention Mark Andrews, who over the past 2 or 3 seasons has been a top 3 tight end in football. Isaiah Likely, he's pretty good. I mean, if Mark Andrews wasn't there, Isaiah Likely potentially could be a young star in this league. And who says he still can't be? You still got J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. The run game there is always going to be good. Obviously, the backfield they have, but also the quarterback they have, Lamar Jackson. I don't know if you guys know, but the guy can move pretty well with his legs.
Yeah.
And then adding D-Hop to that receiver room would just bolster it. It would bolster the top heavy side of it because outside of Odell Beckham, They kind of need one more guy to have that, and then the depth would be really good there.
I like that. And here's the deal. And I want to get your final thoughts on this whole D-Hop situation, because I got another guest of mine that is trying to jump in with me. So I'm gonna try to get him in shortly. But final thoughts, your thoughts, Evan, on D-Hop. And do you like the move? Do you think it happens? And if he's on the team, and you're all about bold predictions, right? So give me your bold prediction on the win-loss record with D-Hop on the squad.
So first off, kicking things off with the thought of it, I'm all for it. I'm all for Brandon Beane pulling the trigger and bringing in DeAndre Hopkins to the Buffalo Bills. I am right up front there, in line to watch that. Secondly, record-wise, I don't think it changes the record a whole lot. The Bills have been top 5 in wins over the last 3 seasons, and I think they continue to do that. I don't think anything changes, even though we do have a really rough schedule this year. We have a tougher division.
Yep.
I think the Bills still are around 13-4, 12-5. I still think they're an 11+ win team. I think I'm not promoting betting or anything, but if you're betting for the Bills to win over 11 games, I think it's a safe bet. And adding a DeAndre Hopkins just bolsters that bet a little bit better. I think the Bills are still a 12-13 win team, with or without Hopkins.
12 or 13 wins with or without Hopkins. You know what? And that, ladies and gentlemen, Evan Harrington. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, Evan, let people know where they can find you, what you're up to, all the things that you'll be doing with BF once the season, starts to kind of get rolling around. Talk to the people. The floor is yours, buddy.
Yeah. So obviously, right here, you can see this is my Twitter, Evan H716. Go follow that there if you want to, keep up with anything. I tweet personally about the Bills, or just anything along those lines. Instagram, you can find me over at Evan Harrington _63 if you want to see a little bit more of my personal life, get to know me a little bit more outside of just talking a little Bills, get to know me for not just Buffalo Fanatics and the Bills, maybe figure out who I am a little bit more. And then just stuff with the Buffalo Fanatics. School's over. That means I'm more free. That means I can pop on here, whether that's just producing or just hopping on with Rico, Rev, or Bot, or any of the shows that are going on, and just sit back on a late night and talk with my guys, talk some Bills, whether that's training camp, preseason, the regular season, postseason, the Super Bowl, whatever it is. I'm going to be here. And there's exciting stuff that BF has going forward that I'll probably be a part of, and you'll see me around that as well. So
there's no question. Oh, by the way, they want to know if you have an OnlyFans.
I do not yet, at least. So
you're 20. You can do it now, man. You're good to go.
Yeah. maybe one day. If the cash, maybe when I go on to the true adult life, if the cash flow isn't coming in that good, maybe that's something I step into.
I love every bit of it. By the way, and now I want to make something very clear before Evan leaves. Evan tried to I don't know what kind of stunt he tried to pull up, saying, "Oh, I'm taller than Rico." No, the heck you're not. You tried it.
Rico.
Tried it.
Okay,
You're not. Don't even.
Okay. No, Rico. I'm just gonna say before I go.
Yeah.
I am 5'10". Rico, you got a lot of space back there. I want Rico really quick. I want you just to get up, walk back there, and I want everyone in the comments over or under 5'10". That's all I want. Because if you're gonna say here and say taller,
you're not 5'10". That's the problem.
I am 5'10".
The cat lie has already begun.
5'10".
Anyway, we gotta listen. I got people come through. Evan, great to always talk to you, man. We'll definitely do this again, obviously, and maybe we'll be seeing each other in Buffalo soon. Hey, watch out now. Yeah, we'll see, buddy. All right, man. Take care, boss.
All right, see you, man.
That's my guy, Evan Harrington. Always a good time with my guy. And Cap talking about he 5'10". Boy, you better stop. There was a picture with me, him, Dion. Was it Dion Dawkins? No, it wasn't Dion Dawkins. It was my man Kroon, Joe Kroon. Joe Kroon was a big boy, and he tried to punk me. Boy, you better stop. Evan, I still got love for you, man. I still got love for you. Anyway, folks, before my guest comes on, and he's a flake sometimes, so I'm gonna send him a message, be like, yo, your time is up and it's time for you to come. So let me get in on more of this football talk when it comes to D-Hop. And I got things to get off my chest, right? And here's the deal. D-Hop coming to the Bills would be a great look. Because we have to let me remind folks what we have in the AFC East. Forget about quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Forget about Tua working out, getting a little thicker. You know what I'm saying? He thinks that's going to save him from getting his ass whooped from the Bills defensive front. You still gonna get your ass whooped. It's just what it is. But look who it is. Thank you very much. Let that get no candy, no more candy. No, you're done. So here's the deal when it comes to that. Love you too, Bob. Here's what it comes when it comes to D-Hop. We need a D-Hop because I keep going back to this very game, the Jets game, where they completely just made us look like a mediocre team. I didn't like it. Although Josh Allen had 2 rushing touchdowns, but bitch, that's not why we pay Josh Allen. We pay him to throw the rock. Now, when he sprinkles in some run game, hey, I'm all for it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? He's the dual threat that Buffalo needs, right? The type of team that we are, he's a dual threat that we need. But golly, when Sauce Gardner poured all the when he sauced up my guy Gabe Davis, and Gabe Davis was absolutely non-efficient in that game, and they double teamed my guy Stephon Diggs, we looked like a mediocre team. So this is where you want to lean on your run game. If the pass game ain't working, all right, let's try to bully these cats. We couldn't run the ball worth a damn. So that was problematic to me. So a guy like D-Hop that comes through, that is major. That is major. Y'all gonna just come through and crash my thing like this? Don't give me lip, lady. Anyway, so that was problematic for me. Very problematic. Because now you have D-Hop that can come in, and now you can't double team because you got to respect D-Hop. You got to respect Stephon Diggs. You got to respect Dalton Kincaid. Those are huge deals. So you need to get a guy like D-Hop to not allow these guys to come in and willy-nilly cover you up, and now you looking like a mediocre damn offense. And now we looking like frauds. So if you're going to bring a D-Hop, you're bringing him to take off the pressure off of guys like Stephon Diggs. So now he can cook because Stephon Diggs, one-on-one, you ain't touching Stephon Diggs. One-on-one, very difficult to touch D-Hop. So Sauce Gardner, bring it on. Jalen Ramsey, bring it on. Xavier Howard, bring it on. You need a guy like D-Hop to take that pressure. That's why listen, when you want to win the division, part of the way you build your team is to win the division. How do you think that the Bills have won 3 straight division three straight? How do you think we did that? We built it so we can take care of business in our division. So when they notice that we are cooking ass and we whooping that ass, they're like, hold on now, we need some reinforcements. Jets, we need a quarterback. We need to match what these guys are doing, right? Yo, we need a corner that can lock stuff down because Diggs is getting up in our ass. Xavier Howard, you got a buddy now. You know what I'm saying? It's not Kahoo. You know what I'm saying? It's a reputable, damn good cornerback in Jalen Ramsey. So these guys know what they're doing. The Dolphins know what they're doing. They're like, yo, we know where your bread and butter is at. It's at the receiver position because you guys can't run the ball worth a damn. I don't care who you got back there. We don't respect it. But that pass game, though, that receiver on the number 14, he's a problem. So guess what? They loaded up. They loaded all the way up. So now, what do we got to do? We got to counter. I don't know if anybody's been in a fight in this, man. You can't just sit here and just throw haymakers all day. You know what I'm saying? Y'all getting tired and huffing and puffing. I've seen people fight when they're just throwing out. Nobody gets hit. Huffing and puffing, all that stuff. Nobody's getting hit. Haymakers everywhere. No counters. Buffalo can't just keep throwing haymakers. We got to counter. So how you counter? Bring on D-Hop. That's how you counter, baby. You got to counter by bringing on D-Hop. And now, when they throw that haymaker, slip that, pop, back it up. That's that 15-yard gain right there. Oh, you think you can try to double team? Kincaid, middle. Folks, it can be a problem. If you guys agree with what I'm saying right now, smash that mother effing like. I'm kind of in my bag right now. I'm trying to get in my bag. Pierre likes this type of shit. But y'all catch what I'm saying, man. We got to get out of we got to get out the East. Because right now, there's some folks that feel that we ain't about that. They're saying that we could I seen places that said that we could probably only get 10 wins. I'm a little more realistic. I think we get about 12. I think we take 5 L's along the way. But does D-Hop help us win those crucial games? In my opinion, at 12-5, hold on. At 12-5, let me finish my thought. At 12-5, you bring on D-Hop, because that's what I had as without D-Hop. You bring on D-Hop. I think D-Hop helps us win 1 or 2 more games. You go to a 13 to a 14 team win team with D-Hop, because now you got to play us different. We might even sweep the division with that, because right now I have a splitting with the Jets and Miami Dolphins. Maybe we sweep one team and not the other, but we'll see. The division games are tough. You guys already know that. See, this is the shit I hate. Pierre knows he's pissing me off. He pisses me off when he does shit like this. 17-0 with D-Hop. Man, you better stop. Stop that shit. I hate that. Sarah Christine, what's up, Sarah? Sarah says, hey, I'd give you 10 likes if I could. Rest of the chat needs to do their part. You know what? Let me turn that up. Let me turn that up for Sarah Christine. Let me hit that bitch. Let me hit that bitch one more again. Appreciate that, Sarah Christine. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Hold on. Pierre says, yo, this is the most positive Rico's been since the offseason. Yeah, I'm being positive today, but wait till Tuesday. Wait till Tuesday. You get positive Rico right now, because you know what? The potential to get D-Hop changes a whole lot on this team. I still have a lot of questions, and I'm gonna ask the questions, because ain't nobody in Bills Mafia asking the real questions. We all kumbayaing. It's gonna be an amazing season. We're gonna get 15 wins. Freaking kidding me? The AFC is freaking loaded, and you talk about 15 wins? Come on now, let's be realistic. Let's be realistic, folks. Let's be realistic. Now, here's the deal. I want to get back on potential destinations that D-Hop can go if it's not the Bills. I do not want to see DeAndre Hopkins on the Kansas City Chiefs. Do not. Cannot. I will not love it. No part of me will like it. We can't let that happen. So sometimes you got to play chess instead of checkers. Well, what do you mean by that, Rico? Well, sometimes you guys ever play dominoes? A true domino player is a calculated player. I'm not talking about, because I've seen people say, hey, you want to play dominoes? Sure. I play dominoes with them. They don't know what the heck they're doing. You want to know what they're doing? Let me match the 3s with the 3s, and I'll match the 5 with the 5. Oh, I got a blank. What do I do with this one? You ain't a domino player. Domino players are strategizing, knowing what you have, knowing what you have. I got to block you so I can put my piece in. So sometimes Bean has got to be a chess player and say, I'm going to block the Chiefs from getting this guy. I'm going to block the Ravens from getting this guy. I got to block every one of you AFC foes from getting this guy. If I got to put him on my team and pay out, if I got to put him on my team and restructure a couple players, and that's what I'm going to do. You can't let the Kansas freaking City Chiefs get D-Hop. Kadarius Toney. You got Pacheco running amok, a 7th round draft pick running amok. You got Travis Kelce. Fam, no. They just drafted Rice. No, we can't let him go over there. We cannot. We can't allow it. We can't allow it. We talked about the Eagles. The Eagles may not, because they got players they got to pay. The Ravens might be the best bet. The one that could, you know what I mean? Really like kind of push to see if they can get him. But they just paid a boatload of money to Lamar Jackson. They just gave $15 million to OBJ. They might be feeling froggy. They might want to jump on that. They might want to jump all over that. Kansas City Chiefs, you put a D-Hop with Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes. Ugh, just the thought of it, I have a headache. The migraine's coming. I don't want to see that. I don't want to even hear it. That's one foe. And then you got the Chargers. The Chargers would be very interesting. Now, they just drafted, Quentin Johnson. So, like, you got Williams, Johnson, Keenan Allen. I don't know. D-Hop, I don't see the fit. I know you like, you know what I'm saying, having Justin Herbert throw you the football, but I just don't see the fit. The fit, I don't know if he wants that. Are they really competing? And do you want him to go to the AFC West, compete against the Denver Broncos, compete against the Kansas City Chiefs and the Raiders? Not that the Raiders are anything, but like that's a tough division. Now, so is the AFC East, but you got the best quarterback in the AFC East in Josh Allen. Let's roll. Let's roll. By the way, smash that like me. I'm no mathematician, folks. I really am no mathematician. I've never been a mathematician. But something tells me with 300 people watching right now, from Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff, I mean, 6 plus 19 plus 31 plus 92 carry the 6 multiplied by 7. I mean, I should have all those numbers on the like. So do me a favor, smash that like for your boy, and let me see that shit climb. So let's roll. Kansas City Chiefs, we can't have that. The LA Chargers, I just don't see the fit. I don't see the fit. It just makes sense that he goes to Buffalo. Now, here's what it comes down to. You're a big shit talker because you're doing all this yapping, and we're about to find out if all that yapping you've been doing is gonna actually work out for us. Man, what about the Buffalo Bills? You know what I'm saying? Giving the old look. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Well, now you have an opportunity. I got people hit me on my text saying, yo, man, people are talking about he's in Buffalo right now. When I see it, I believe it. When I see it, I believe it. By the way, I got to give a shout out to my man, Jeff King. What up, Jeff? Jeff King comes in with a super chat and says, yo, gentlemen, God bless your optimism, but it isn't happening. That's my guy. That's why I love Jeff King. Jeff King says, yo, it ain't happening. If it does, I will kiss both your asses in downtown Buffalo. God bless you guys. Listen, Jeff, I want you to be ready for the show on Tuesday because I'm coming for the Bills. I'm coming for the Bills. Right now, I'm being nice because people, you know what I mean? People are optimistic about D-Hop coming. I don't want to rain on people's parade. But Tuesday, I ain't going to be so nice because I got questions. And y'all need to answer them. Or somebody does. So I appreciate that, Jeff King. William on YouTube. What's up, Will? Will says, yo, I already read that one. He said Shakir got to give up number 10. I mean, if D-Hop does come to Buffalo, I don't think he's going to take number 10. I think he's just going to go to number 6. Or he might just want to start new and get something fresh. He might want to go back to his Clemson days. I don't know what number he was at Clemson. Was it number 6? I can't recall. But we'll see, man. We have no idea what is going to take place with D-Hop. You heard him in that clip. He's got a counsel. He's got people professionally. He's got people in his circle of friends that are kind of advising him what is best for him. He ain't just gonna willy-nilly just choose a spot. He's gonna be calculated on where he goes. He's gonna look at who he's playing with. He's gonna look at the atmosphere. He's obviously gonna want to look at his bank account. He's gonna want to look at, you know what I'm saying, the community. He's very big on community. So, and you know, the Bills Mafia is as big a community as there is. And they're a great community. So maybe that falls into place. Does he like the coach? Does he like the coaching? Is he good with the philosophy that Ken Dorsey's going to have? Is he sold on it? I mean, how can you not be? You had a number 2 offense last year. We were humming. We were just putting points left, right, center until, you know what I'm saying, Josh got into a tiff with his lady, I think. Rumors, allegedly. And then obviously he got his shoulder busted. So, and ever since that, it just wasn't the same. And then whatever happened in that Bengals game, some trouble, problems. So, folks, there's a possibility. There's a real possibility D-Hop ends up in Buffalo. A very real possibility. Brandon Beane's just got to make it happen. I trust Brandon Beane. Big baller Beane will get it done. He's not going to be bargain bin Beane. We already did that. We already did the whole bargain bin bean part. Now that you got a big time player that's available, now you don't have to think about who you got to give up. Now it's about, okay, what you want. Let me see if I can make it work. So bargain bin bean needs to put that bargain bin bean mentality aside and become big baller bean and lock this shit down and let's roll. Because now we become a problem. Now, I asked a question earlier in the show. Does this put a lot more pressure on the Bills to perform when you bring in the likes of DeAndre Hopkins? Of course it does. Of course it does. But you guys are professional players. You will make it work. You have to make it work. You drafted Kincaid, a tight end. You're going to utilize him. You're going to make it work. Dawson Knox is going to assume his role. Khalil Shakir will learn from Stephon Diggs and D-Hop. It's just going to make the whole team better. And just the other day, Sean McDermott was talking about his style of coaching. And he's loving to be back in the grassroots and doing all that good stuff. And he was saying, yo, I love a good shit talker. I love me a good shit talker. And that's how defenses, rise to the occasion. And I think they were comparing him to, who was it that was wearing all black? It was Bruce Arians, was it? I think they were comparing him to Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians would come in and talk big shit and wear all black and say, we're going to whoop your ass. It's going to be a funeral. And that's the type of shit. That's the type of mentality I want on this team. I want defense to hate the offense. I want offense to bust on that defense. And when it's ready and time to go week 1 against the Jets, we're going to be ready. But I still have us losing that game. I'm just saying. I'm going to keep it a buck. I still have us losing that game. But things could change. Things could change. Now, the other destination that the Bills, I mean, they were talking about potentially D-Hop going to was the Patriots. I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time on that because if the brother says he wants to win, if the brother says he wants organization, the brother says he wants a top defense, the brother says he wants a quarterback, great organization, sure, I'll give you that. Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, I mean, they run a tight ship. They run a great team organization over there. I mean, listen, and it speaks for themselves. They got 7 damn championships or 6. So it speaks for themselves, right? But you ain't got no quarterback out there. You better stop that bullshit. You ain't going to New England. Boy, you better stop. I ain't trying to hear all that. So the really top destinations for my guy, D-Hop, is really Buffalo, the Ravens, and that's it. Now, who, and I'm going to ask this chat. I'm going to ask the chat this question. Who is the dark horse team? Ain't nobody talking about this team because that's normally what happens, right? Nobody talks about this one team, and all of a sudden, that team comes in and you're like, where did that come from? Prime example, the Bills. The Bills were not even anywhere close to chatter with Von Miller. That thing came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. So who is that one team that's going to come out of nowhere and lock it down? I'm curious. Talk to me. Some people are saying the Browns. I don't know if he wants to reunite with Kansas City. I mean, excuse me, with you brought that for me. Thank you. Yeah. By the way, the wife is behind me. She's trying to. You can come in the camera if you want to. So I messed up. I'm gonna get into it when I end the show. But I messed up my back badly. I'm walking around like an old man. I don't know what to do with myself. I can't even get out of the car normal. I'm like holding on to. Look, okay, don't treat me like now. You treat me like an old man now. You are. You putting a pillow behind me. Like, what are you gonna do? Trying to hold that so that you're embarrassing me for my friends. I don't care. She got a pillow behind me. She got a heat pack on my back. Yo, I messed up my back. I don't know if anybody's ever messed up their back badly. This is the first time I've ever done that. It's not cool. Anyway, yeah, it's cool. I even had to go get a TENS machine. I don't know what a TENS machine is. I got these little sticky things put on my back. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but anyways, I'll get into that at the end of the show when I'm closing out. But anyway, let me get into this, right? So this team has great opportunity to be great. So, but D-Hop could go to a team that you didn't see it coming. Vikings, Kirk Cousins, but you pair him with Jefferson and you got Addison out there. That could be something. But does he trust Kirk Cousins? Management just kind of got you know what I mean? They just got a new owner, like a new GM, 2 years ago? Solid GM, young black GM doing his thing. It's possible. I could see the Vikings, but like if you're really truly trying to win, like really win. I'm not talking about just go to the playoffs because I mean, look, the NFC North ain't some shit. You know what I'm saying? You got Green Bay, you got Detroit Lions is looking pretty damn good. And like that's it. I mean, the Bears ain't doing shit. Not yet, at least. It's gonna be a big year for them, but I don't think he's gonna go to the Bears. I can't see it happening. So who's the dark horse? Dallas Cowboys? That could be good. CeeDee Lamb, D-Hop, Tony Pollard. Not bad. Gallup. I think Gallup's coming back. Wolfgang says, yo, but you said dark horse, man. You can't. These guys aren't dark horses. Okay, well, who's the dark horse? Jacksonville? No state tax. Yeah, but they got a lot of money tied up. But they do have a lot of money left. So maybe D-Hop goes to Jacksonville. The AFC South, he gets to go up against the Texans again and whoop that ass. Could be. That's not a bad way to look at it. But at the end of the day, I mean, listen, the Giants would be interesting. Go to Brian Dable, but then you got Danny Dimes throwing the football. It's all about quarterback play. Don't forget, this guy's played with a whole bunch of bum-ass quarterbacks. He's done with it. I want a quarterback that is going to be a sustainable quarterback. That is going to be nice for a good chunk. Ain't nobody trying to go play with no freaking... Nah, they're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Going back to the Browns to play with Deshaun Watson. I don't know if he wants to deal with Deshaun Watson's nonsense no more. I don't think he wants to be associated with that. But you never know. That's the dark. Like we're talking about dark horses here. So that could be the dark horse team. The Steelers. Could you imagine him going to the Steelers? That'd be interesting. But the Jacksonville Jaguars is very interesting. The Jacksonville Jaguars does work. They got Calvin Ridley. You know what I'm saying? They just brought they got Zay Jones doing good things. I mean, listen, they got some guys out there, man. Somebody said Atlanta. Here's the problem. He's not going to want to get the ball thrown to by freaking Desmond Ridder. Knock it off. Ain't nobody going to the freaking Atlanta Falcons. Now, I love what Atlanta Falcons doing with their young pieces, but if you're a veteran guy and you want to win, you don't go to Atlanta. You let the young guys do what they got to do out there. And if Desmond Ridder isn't that dude, then they're shopping again for a quarterback. You don't want to be in that position. You really don't. So really, at the end of the day, folks, there's not many dark horses that like you got to really factor in all the things that he says he wants. Management, quarterback, great defense. Saints don't got a great quarterback. Derek Carr's all right. He's good. He ain't great. That defense, okay. Management, the Lions, they're up and coming. But are they a championship team? No. He wants to go to, I want to be the one piece that's missing. That's the key thing. Management, quarterback, defense, and him being the one piece that's missing. To me, it points to the Ravens or it points to the Bills. But we'll see. So, folks, let me break it down to the point where we can start to close out the show. So here's the deal. D-Hop is a sensational player. Although he is 31, he's on the more positive side of 31. He ain't 34, 35. You know what I'm saying? He's 31. You know what I'm saying? So he's still got some juice left. He's got 2 years left, maybe 3, where he can be really, really effective. We'll call it 2. So you sign that man for a 3-year deal and get the most out of it and just go for the gusto. I think that works. You pair him with Stephon Diggs, that's 29. You got a nice, formidable duo going forward. I like it. It makes sense. D-Hop to the Bills would be nice. And now we don't have to worry about anybody trying to double team. We can actually run our offense the way we freaking want to. We dictate what happens to the defense instead of the defense dictating what goes on with us. But the big thing is going to be the O-line. Did we upgrade the O-line good enough to keep Josh upright? Steve Tasker went off the other day. Was like, I'm not hearing people talking about quarterbacks getting hurt. Josh Allen does not get hurt out the pocket. Man, I was talking about that 4 years ago. Was it 5 years ago? 5 years ago, I was talking about when Ben Roethlisberger was still in the league. I was talking about all the mobile quarterbacks. Whenever they got hurt, it was never when they ran. It was always in the pocket. I was talking about that shit 5 years ago. Welcome, Mr. Tasker. We've been on that. And I bring this up like this, right? To conclude this segment in this show. We were freaking so close just a couple years ago. Actually, we were close a few years ago. We were in the AFC Championship game. We just weren't ready. We weren't ready. And the Chiefs proved it. And we said we'll be back. So we faced the Chiefs again. 13 seconds away from doing what we're supposed to do. And then, in my opinion, winning the whole thing, because that was the year we had it. We had it. We had to kind of change things up. New offensive coordinator, all that good stuff was happening. We had a lot of things going up against us, right? Last year was a tough one. I get it. So now we got a new sense of focus, a renewed focus. Let's get after it. In order to get after it, you gotta add the pieces, man. You gotta have the talent on the team. I'm not saying we don't, but it's good to have the talent on the team. And then the young bucks can learn. Khalil Shakir, you learn. Kincaid, you learn. Dawson Knox, you learn. And we go from there. We'll see. We will see how it plays out. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Brandon Beane has in store. Is D-Hop too rich for his blood? Is he going to be like, nah, I'm good, I'm out? He's asking for way too much? Or is D-Hop saying, let's work together, I want to make this work? I imagine Josh Allen's on the phone, three-way when we're done with Von Miller, talking about, yo, let's make this shit work, man. Get your agent, talk to Brandon Beane. I'm the freaking assistant GM. I got the plug. Let's put it together. I can imagine something like that happening. So I'm looking at the positive side of it. I think it does happen. But boy, oh boy, wait till Tuesday when I got to show when I'm going on the opposite side. Because that's what a fan should do. Challenge the team. Criticize. Be a critique of the team. But also big up your team. Because that's my squad. We know that. But I'm going to keep it a buck every time. Every single time I'm going to keep it a buck. You guys already know that. But appreciate that. But anyway, before I get out of here, guys, I messed up my back horribly. And you know what it was? I wasn't doing anything crazy. I went to play a little touch football last weekend, cooking shit. You know how I do. And I came back home, hang out with the kids, whatever, picked up my son, sat on the bed. That was it. I picked him up and sat on the bed. Comatose, you're done. I went all week walking hunchback. You know what I mean? The hunchback Negro, just walking around all over the place, just looking like a fool. So now I got to warm the back up. I went to physio, tell me to do all these stretches, and it makes you realize, holy jumpins, I'm out of shape. I got to get right back to it. If you guys have any back, remedies or stretches that have worked that helped you with lower back, I think I have a slip disc is what they say. Hook your boy up, send me messages, and let me know what you have done. If you have those tense machines and you know where to put them, let me know. Hit me up. You guys already know what it is, man. Boy, I'm walking around like a damn fool. It is what it is, though. Ronald says, hey, man, been there, Rico, worked in a steel mill. And here's the thing. Where I work, I'm constantly walking. Steel toe shoes, just walking all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Sitting down, computer, do what I got to do, get back up again. And I'm just walking, making sure everything is cool and I've been doing this, since 2016. Been doing it a while. Especially on walking, and you got to have comfortable shoes and all that stuff. So I'm wondering if that plays a part in it. Boy, oh boy. Swimming, huh? My wife keeps telling me to go and do aqua fit with her. She's like, come swimming with me. Really? But maybe it worked. I went to go and do, I went to chiropractor a couple years ago. I went to try it. He did all that fancy stuff. Turn your hips, squeeze down on me, crack it. I'm thinking, oh, this is working. It didn't do shit for me. Hey, I need you to come back. Yo, you just want to take my money every time. I'm not interested. I want results. My wife's like, but you got to go more than 3 times. Knock it off. I want results right away. Anyway, but yeah, I got to fix this back, man. Because I gotta get back out. Listen, what it comes down to is I got to get back in shape. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big dude, but I just need to get back in shape, baby. That's what I need to do. But anyway, enough about me. Swimming, aquatic therapy, that's what I think I might try. And I got to do some stretching, yoga, all that stuff. That's what they're saying to do. So we'll see how that works out. Now, right, I'm just doing heat in the back and doing all that good stuff. So let us conclude, folks. Oh, hold on a second. My man said he started weight training at 12. I'm 36, back hyperextensions, front plank supersets. Oh. All right. I'm going to go back to the chat and try to take all the pointers that you guys are putting on me. So I like that. So at the end of the day, folks, here's what it comes down to, man. If you want to win the championship, you got to get the necessary pieces that work for your team. You want to win the championship, you got to get the necessary pieces that your quarterback wants, and that's going to elevate this offense. You want to win the championship, you got to bring the talent on the squad. It's a bit of both. You got to have the veteran talent. You got to have the young talent, and that's how you develop. The beautiful thing about this whole thing is Brandon Beane is already aware of this, so this is great. So we'll see how this plays out, man. So if this deal does happen, I imagine it happens within the week, maybe by Tuesday. Maybe they have a deal in principle, and then they you know what I'm saying, make it work sometime soon. But I'm very interested in one thing that I'm very interested to see how Stefon Diggs feels about this if it does happen. So we'll see. But I'm seeing a lot of your advice in the chat. I love it. I'll be going back to the chat to make sure I can get this thing popping because, boy, Lord knows I need it, man. I want to be able to walk with my kids and do all that stuff, but, man, I did something to my back, and it's killer. So I'm going to try a lot of those things. I got the heating pad right now. This girl made me look like an old man. She put a pillow behind my back. What a good wifey, though. Good wifey. There's one thing I will never say. This girl is she's a good woman. She put a little heating pack on my back and then put a pillow. But she also making me look old. Your boy is getting old, though. Your boy is getting old. It's getting up there, but I ain't that old yet. So that's it for me, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I really do hope you guys enjoy the show. I'm trying to get back to my Friday night shows, and if it works out, it'll be great. But, like, where is D-Hop going to land? Where is he going to land? Where is he going to land, folks? We're trying to figure that out. And I'll say this, man. I want to show you guys something here. This is why it gives me the impression that D-Hop really wants to come to Buffalo, because this is a tweet that he sent back to Arizona. Arizona thanked him for his services and for his 2 or 3 years of service with them. And he decided to, put a few pictures on that squad. Now he's got a picture of himself. He's got a picture of a couple teammates. I'm sure those are teammates that he really enjoyed. He's got a picture of him going to the Phoenix Suns games and so on and so forth. And he's got a picture of him making a wonderful catch, but not against the Bills, against the Vikings. He could have easily put that picture of the overtime. Not even over. Was it overtime? I can't remember. It was like last second. Anyway, the Hail Murray. He could have easily put a picture of that, but Joe Marino put it that way, and I completely agree with it. He chose not to put that. So maybe he is on his way to Buffalo. There's so many little things that would give us the impression that he's going to Buffalo, but we won't know. We will not know where he's going. The real question is, we're about to find out soon. He will make a decision. Is he full of shit or is he legit? Is the real deal? Does he mean what he say? Is he anyway? If he's gonna do what he says, then he's gonna be in the Bills uniform. But it all comes down to crunching the numbers and making sure the fit is working and it works out. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for D-Hop Watch. We're gonna find out, I'm sure, rather shortly, so we can get into camp early, so we can get acclimated with his teammates and the playbook and so on and so forth. And let's get this thing popping. The longer this goes on, the worse it is for him. So you want to get your home quick and get into the playbook. Something tells me he's probably already got the Buffalo Bills playbook right now. We'll soon see. So, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I always enjoy doing this with you guys. There's a lot of places you guys can choose to be, but you guys choose to be here with me on a Friday evening, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So, appreciate you. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. This is Rico. So this is the Buffalo Fanatics. This is the Rico Report. You guys have yourself a fantastic rest of the weekend. Until next time, it's your boy, and I'm gone. Have yourself a fantastic weekend. Catch you guys on the flip side. Hey.